recording in pitch darkness, guys. ID tech is on, f1.8. What's up guys, Charles from TreeTanksDev. Welcome to today's video, and today is the first test on the Canon EOS R6 Mark II, and you can obviously guess what I'm doing right now. I'm on the 50th floor of where I live, the Pinnacle at Duxton here in Singapore, and right now we are doing a low light cityscape, or basically a night cityscape test on 3 different lenses. The 24-105 f4 lens, which has OIS, and 2 other lenses, the 16mm f2.8, which does not have OIS, and also this lens, the 35 f1.8, which has OIS, shooting at f1.8 4K 30 frames right now. And surprisingly enough, this lens, which when I used it on the RP, it wasn't really very good. I hardly used this lens, but it seems to me on this R6 Mark II is absolutely brilliant. Look at that. Look at that. It's really fast, and you have no idea how dark it is. I have my exposure comp at plus 1/3 and f1.8. So this test today, like I mentioned, is a low light test and also a stabilization test to see how good the R6 Mark II's stabilization is, because they claim to have up to 8 stops. So here's the other view. This is the cityscape view. Get a load of that. Absolutely brilliant. We are at the edge of the central business district here in Singapore. And just to let you know, this test, although cityscape at night, or basically cityscape landscape in general, we always shoot in manual focus. But for this test, I want to test out how good this dual pixel autofocus system is on the R6 Mark II, and I'm going to shoot in automatic mode in this pitch darkness. So this will give you a good gauge on how good the autofocusing is on this system. But so far it's been really good. So let's get straight to the video. Right now I am filming at 4K 30 frames per second using the RF 24-105mm f4 lens. You can see the beautiful view behind me, a little bit of bokeh there at f4, looking very beautiful. So right now, like I said, I'm shooting at 4K 30. In the test, I'll be testing it out handheld. All tests today will be handheld. And first up, I'm going to start using this 24-105 lens with the OIS on, and then I'm going to turn off the OIS, and then I'm going to take some photographs with and without the OIS as well, and then we'll move on to the 16mm and also the 35mm. So yep, let's get to the video. Okay, so shooting in standard color profile, because I believe that using natural color profile might have a lot of grain. So I'm not gonna even rest my arms on this bar. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna handhold the camera all the way without resting anywhere. Right now I'm gonna start, and you can see I'm hand holding it 4K 30, and of course with the image stabilization on for the lens stab. And how does it look? Is it any good? Looks pretty good to me. Alright, so right now I'm gonna turn off the OIS at 24, and then we'll see how much difference does it make now. Alright, so I am having the image stabilization off on the lens. Basically optical image stabilization is off. I'm hand holding it, and it still looks pretty good, aside from a little bit of movement from the way I'm standing. Image quality looks a little bit shaky. My hands will get tired eventually, so yep, I'm gonna switch over to 50mm right now, and with the OIS on. So yep, let's go. Okay, so we are at 50mm, and f4 definitely, that's the widest aperture on this lens. Image stabilization is on, so we're having body plus lens stab at 50mm. How does it look? Let me just pan it around for a second just to give you a view of the whole area. Yeah, it looks very, very nice. Okay, so let's check out 105 mils. So 105 mils with the image tape on. How does it look? Gonna pan a bit down. It actually looks pretty good. I can feel my arms aching slightly, so my arms are a little bit jittery. But the video isn't flickering like just now. Right now I'm going to switch off the image tape. Okay, now it's off, and there you go. You can see my hands actually vibrating due to, like, slightly aching due to, holding this camera for a good 5 minutes or so. Alright guys, get a load of this. Look how beautiful this is. Look how big my hand is. 16 millimeters, guys. 16 millimeters RF f2.8. My hand stretched out all the way. Look at how beautiful that view is. It's like wider than a GoPro, honestly. If you want to get great shots like that, it's absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love this 16 f2.8 RF lens, and this is so damn cheap. It's like 400 bucks or something in Singapore, or maybe in the US it might cost maybe like 350 or so. So this is really, really cheap. Let's switch hands right now. Well, this would be a really, really nice picture. My exposure comp, I forgot to mention, I bumped it up to +1/3. So yeah, that's about it. Standard color profile, so absolutely looks good. So let's see how good this cheap lens is for cityscape pictures, whether there's any like light bleeding or something like that, a lot of glare. So yeah, let's test it out right now. Alright guys, check it out. 16 mils, and I'm not in manual mode. Normally I would shoot in manual mode, but for this testing purposes, for this night cityscape, I'll be shooting in automatic and see how it is. So how does it look? 16 mils f2.8, 4K 30 frames per second. Let's pan around and see whether this lens suffers with all those lights in the buildings and stuff. So let's pan around as well, give you a view. Tristan is sitting somewhere there. It's pitch darkness here, and then we'll take a photograph of him later on. Yeah, coming back to the cityscape, I think this will be a pretty good gauge. We'll zoom in on the video. Again, I'm my hand holding it. I'm not even resting on the bars which are available to me. Okay, so yeah, bear with me guys for a while. I know my face is right up in the camera. This is the 35 f1.8 RF lens. Looks pretty cinematic actually. That looks pretty nice. Check it out. This would be a great photograph if you ask me. So yeah, just wanted to talk to you about this lens. I did take a few photographs, and I never had a lot of confidence in this 35 f1.8 on my Canon EOS RP. So I hardly use this lens, but I've been using this on these. I mean, I just took a few photographs on this R6 Mark II. It's surprisingly fast and surprisingly sharp. Like in an instant, just like that, locked on, take beautiful photograph, bokeh. Here's a look at the picture. Yeah, surprisingly good. So yep, just gonna take a photograph of the cityscape. It is 35, so it's a little bit squashed. So I took multiple photographs of the scene. so right now shooting at f2.8. I think f1.8 will introduce a little bit too much what do you call it, light bleeding and lens flares and stuff. So I'm sticking to f2.8 automatic as usual. Like I mentioned, normally for cityscapes, night cityscapes especially, use manual focus, but for this test I wanted to see the power of the Canon R6 Mark II and its new dual pixel autofocusing system. So I'm just gonna pan around, and OIS is on. How does it look? Is it any good? We're gonna take a pan around. Like I said, I'm in f2.8 right now, although we do have the option for f1.8. So maybe for this scene I'm gonna bump it down to f1.8. Okay, now we're at f1.8, and how does it look? Looks good. Okay, but let's take a view with f1.8 on this cityscape and see if there's any light bleeding and ghosting and lens flares and stuff. How does it look? Is it f2.8 better or is f1.8 better? He looks pretty similar. Okay, so here's a little bonus clip. F1.8 35 RF. Look how fast it is. It is not a really expensive lens. It's maybe about 600 to 700, but look at how fast it is. And it's pitch darkness. Let me remind you, if you haven't, if you saw the previous clip, it is pitch darkness here, and look how well this 35 is performing. Alright, so that's all guys for this video. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is the first challenge, basically a stabilization challenge. I was hand holding it all the way, pretty tiring for about 10 minutes. I didn't even rest my arms on the bar. So yeah, stabilization was pretty good, and you saw when I turned off the stabilization, made a lot of difference on the 24-105 lens. So yeah, that's all. Upcoming video, I will do a daytime video tomorrow. We're gonna take some photographs and, you know, test out the 4K 60 quality on this camera. And of course, I'm gonna bring along for the first test, I'm gonna just bring along the Nikon Z6 II, which can also shoot 4K 60 frames per second. So yup, that's all guys. Hit the subscribe button, like button, and notification button guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.